to Valley Rat Chat. This is podcast number 3, and tonight we're going to continue reminiscing about Leavelle McCampbell Middle School. I hope to wrap it all up in tonight's podcast so we can move on to something else next week, but we'll see how far we get. Announcements. Just to let you know, Horse Creek Legacy is not sponsored by any of our vendors mentioned in the announcements. It's just a friendly community update on what may be going on in our area. A neat event happening this weekend, March 21st and 22nd, is the Living History Park in North Augusta. Now, they are one of the parks that are in the Passport book. So if you have one of those, be sure to take that with you and you can get it stamped. They are hosting Colonial Times Under the Crown and Trades Fair. They are located at 299 West Spring Grove Avenue, North Augusta. Free admission. That's one good thing about most historical events. The events are usually free. For more information, you can look at colonialtimes.us. That's their website. This is a recreated village representing the period between 1735 and 1785. And during the Under the Crown Trades Fair, they will have live demonstrations of blacksmithing, pottery, all kinds of things like that. So be sure to go check that out. Last day for that is tomorrow. They have a meeting house, a blacksmith forge, a tavern, grist mill, school, and other buildings from the time period. Don't forget about the 18th Annual Historic Beach Island Tour, Saturday, April 25th, 2026, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. This is sponsored by the Beach Island Historical Society, Inc. Discounted tickets are available in advance. Also, senior citizens get discounted ticket prices. Regular price tickets will be the day of. A barbecue lunch will be available for purchase. More information is found on www.beachislandhistoricalsociety.com. Always check out the Aiken County Historical Museum webpage. They always have events going on. And be sure to stop by and check out their gift shop. They have all kinds of items. And one of my favorite things is they have books by local authors and local history that you can purchase. Aiken County government website has a calendar of events. So be sure to check that out. The Horse Creek Midland Valley Museum is in Burnett Town, right beside Town Hall. They are open on most Fridays from 1 to 4. Private tours are available. Please stop by and reminisce with the ladies there. If Miss Ann doesn't know it, nobody knows it. Another event that I thought was interesting, you might want to know about, it's not local, but it's well worth the drive. The Big Mo Drive-In Movie Theater. That is on 5822 Columbia Highway North in Minetta. And their website is thebigmo.com. They open at 6:30 and the movie is at 8. Double feature on each screen. Cash only for tickets. And they are open on March 20th, 21st, and 22nd. So from Aiken, you just catch number 1, go out past by the airport, and just keep driving till you get to Minetta, and it will be just past Minetta on the right. Another excellent website for all things South Carolina is going to be skyway.net, and that is SCIWAY.net. They have a calendar of events and festivals. So if you like going to festivals, they have every festival in the state of South Carolina listed on their events calendar. Check it out. Channel update. I was doing some research at the library this week, and I came across something that really bothered me, and I'm going to tell you what it is. So there is an excellent resource called the South Carolina Encyclopedia. Now, there's an online version and a printed version, and I don't know if they're affiliated. I have no clue if there's any connection there. The website is really good. Anyway, I was looking at the printed version of this South Carolina Encyclopedia. Now, I like this source. It's really good, but I have a problem with something. They don't have a single entry in that book about the historic village of Vaucluse. Nothing about the mill. It's the oldest mill village in the state, and Vaucluse Mill was very possibly the very first cotton mill in the state. And you have not a single entry about that. It's that reason exactly why I started this channel. If we don't talk about it and maintain it, it will be lost forever. That's why channels like this are so important. If you have any historical information or knowledge that you feel like needs to be preserved, be sure to email that to us. We're putting everything right here on YouTube, so it'll be accessible for generations to come. This is so important. Also, be sure to check out my other channel, Two Lane Tales. I'm driving all over South Carolina, and I have a playlist specifically for Horse Creek Valley. So if you're interested in that, go over there and give that a like, subscribe, and share. It's appreciated. I want to give a mention to a Facebook page that I discovered this week called Warrenville Valley. They have a really good Facebook page talking about all things Valley. I don't know who's doing this page. Get in touch and we can collaborate on a video or something. Now, I don't usually like to use Facebook as a source because it's mostly anecdotal, so you don't know if what you're seeing is, as far as comments, is accurate or not. I found a couple other Facebook pages that you might be interested in. Now, I think these you have to have approval to join, but it is listed as a public group. So we have People of Graniteville Company and UM&M, and another one, Graniteville Past, Present, and Future. So if you're local and you want to reconnect with some folks, you might want to go on there. There's also a Midland Valley Alumni Association that you can join. I think you have to pay to do that, but it's probably well worth the money. And tonight we're going to continue reminiscing about Leavelle McCampbell Middle School. Do you remember your first day at middle school? What did you feel like on that first day? Do you remember the first time with lockers? That was intimidating as a child. We had the responsibility of remembering a combination. I won't ever forget, we had a really important musical competition that we could participate in. For whatever reason, I left my instrument in my locker, and it was over the weekend. We had to get in touch with whoever we could get in touch with so that they could let me into school so that I could go back in and get my instrument out of my locker so that I could participate in the competition. I don't know what in the world made me do that. In the mornings, when you would arrive to Leavelle McCampbell, you would have to come down Gregg Street and then take a right on Church Street. My mom would let me out right there at Church Street, in that little street that split the campus in two, and there was a gate right there off of Church Street that you'd go down this flight of steps, and that's where all the students would wait every morning in that courtyard, wait to be let into the building. This was the area that was underneath the big fire escape ramp on the back of the building. There were a lot of shenanigans that would go on in that courtyard every morning, but we all had a good time and mingled with everyone and made new friends. Oh boy, the fire escape ramp. Everybody that went to that school wanted to walk down that ramp. What always befuddled us, if you exited on the third floor onto the ramp, it would take you, it was kind of like a switchback. And you'd go way out from the building, and then you'd have to turn and come back towards the building, which if the building were on fire, that's kind of counterproductive. We never could figure that out. But it was a fire escape. I don't think I ever walked down it but twice. I won't ever forget, it was a guy named Bill. I'm not going to say any last names on here, but he had hurt his foot, and he had to walk down the ramp on crutches. He was all excited about that. That ramp is steep. It doesn't appear to be, from the road. But when you're walking down it, especially when you're a little kid, there's a definite grade to the ramp. It's it's got quite a pitch there. And when you're walking down it, it's kind of a little bit scary and it's really far off the ground. But anyway, we always liked walking down the ramp. All the students, I don't know where we got it from, but we always thought that Leavelle McCampbell School building had been some kind of hotel at some point in time. I later found out that it was originally built to be a school building. But anyway, when you came in the front door, there was this, I always called it the grand lobby, where they had the black and white floor tiles and then this dramatic staircase that would go up and fork to the left and the right. And when you walked up those stairs, it took you to what was the teacher's lounge, and then you could turn the other direction and go out into the main hallway on the second floor. But if you came in the front door and went to the left or the right of the staircase, it took you to the main hallway on the first floor. When you walked through those doors, the library would be right across the hall from you, and you'd take a right, admin office on the right, assistant principal on the left, and then the guidance counselor. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is the Leavelle McCampbell School building has a basement. And we always, kids talking and rumors and stuff, we always said, well, there's a swimming pool in the basement. I don't know if there ever was or not. I did find out recently that Hickman Hall did have a swimming pool in the basement, so it's a possibility maybe Leavelle McCampbell School did. If anybody knows, just put that in the comments below. That'd be very interesting. Anyway, I only ever one time got a glimpse at that basement. Every now and then the teachers or administration would need some help getting something out of storage from the basement, get students to help them go down there and just carry things. I wouldn't have wanted to go down there back then. Can you imagine what kind of heebie-bejeebies are down there now? Oh my goodness. But I'd like to know what kind of historical artifacts are down there or were down there. I bet that's a treasure trove. We didn't have recess per se in middle school because that's just what little children in elementary school did. That wasn't cool. But what they did do was there was a big field next to the school, and then after lunch, you just walk out there and we just hang out, basically. Sometimes people might bring a football to throw or something like that, but for the most part, people would just split off into their little groups of friends and just talk. In my 8th grade year, I really just didn't want to go do that, so we went and worked in the library after lunch. Anytime I did have to stay outside after lunch, I'd always come down here and sit under these trees and hang out with the two Shannons in the shade. Leavelle McCampbell was heated with radiators. I'm talking about radiators that were the entire length of the classroom. You could sit on that side of the room, but the desks had to be kind of out from the radiator. They really kept the rooms warm, but we all knew you didn't touch it, obviously, because they were extremely hot. One year, I think it was my 7th grade year, I can't remember, we had a cold front that came through, and we experienced the coldest temperatures I have ever experienced in my life. It was over 2 days, and one day it got down to -4, and the next day was -3. Naturally, it was going to happen on a day we had to go to school, but when we got there, they were having problems with the gas system in the school and there wasn't any heat. So we had to go home. So we were all sitting in the gymnasium, where it was warm on that side because it's a separate building, and just waited for our parents to come pick us up and for the buses to run. I can't even describe that kind of cold. It was so cold that it hurt to breathe. I hope we don't ever have to experience that level of cold here again. Then there was the sound of Miss K's typing class on the 2nd floor. They sure looked like manual typewriters, but I'm pretty sure they weren't at that point in time. I wish I had taken typing in middle school, but I did take it in high school. We didn't have computers like we have today. What we started out with was the Apple IIe computers, and we had a small computer lab that was in the old auditorium think it was on the second floor. I think there were 10 computers, and we had to pair up in the class in order to use them. And we had an assignment one day. We were going to learn how to, quote unquote, program the computer using basic computer language. They handed out one of those, the mimeographed paper with the purple ink, and it had all the instructions on there, how we had to enter all of this code meticulously into this caveman computer system. And if you did it correctly, it would be a Christmas tree picture on the screen. I couldn't do it. I didn't come up with a Christmas tree. I had the tree part, but the trunk went kind of wonky. I don't know what happened there. Needless to say, I didn't become a computer programmer. So when you're growing up, moving from elementary school to middle school, you want to feel more grown up. Taking your own lunch was really part of that. My mom would go to the deli and get meat sliced up specifically for me to be able to take a nice sandwich for my school lunch. And I just didn't want milk. That just felt like elementary school. I would drink Diet Coke, and you would wrap that up in foil and stick it in the freezer. You'll know where that's headed. That way, not only would it keep your lunchbox cool inside, but it would give the drink time to thaw out so that by the time lunch rolled around, you'd still have a nice cold soda. Well, the problem with that, as you know, when things freeze, they expand. I learned that the hard way, and learned that before I went into the cafeteria was always the best time to go ahead and pop that drink, just in case it decided it wanted to explode. Well, once again, I've run long, and it's going to take yet another episode to be able to go through everything that I wanted to get through. I hope you're enjoying this series. We'll take as many episodes as it takes to get through it. If you have anything that you would like to share, you can email us or leave a comment. Thank you for listening. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and share to Horse Creek Legacy. And until next time.